Happy Thursday, everyone. We are live in Charlotte, Michigan right now. I'm picking up my extremely well done outfit for Bonnaroo from Keldon, but the most important thing from today is this is Keldon and I's first time seeing each other in 4 years.
4 years.
Four full
Crazy.
years.
Crazy.
The last time I saw you, I was scooting out of Kalamazoo.
Last time you saw me, you were on the run.
I was I had to pack up that Buick and I had to go.
You know what? I said, let her go. I had to let you go. You took
If
my
you
docs. You took some of my clothes in that damn car, but I was like, you know what? I love her, so I have to let her go.
but that car got totaled, so
And,
we we both lucked out on that end with
and you know what? That car has been we had a lot of memories in that car. So
the Ford Fusion will remain in our hearts
that
forever.
part, that part.
R.I.P. Don't know where she wound up. When we went to Florida to Boca, we got those
Oh,
stuffed fries. One of them
yeah.
wound up in there, so I'm down to
Oh,
fry.
damn, yeah, I forgot. Right.
I'm down to fry.
It's
Um,
okay.
but yeah, this was kind of like an impromptu thing, but when I realized I was picking up the outfit, I was like, what better podcast episode to have with Keldon than our literal first time seeing each
Reunion.
other?
Like crazy.
And even though it's been 4 years,
I feel like
hopefully that's the most it'll ever be again
I hope so.
because that's too much.
But you know what? I feel like time, like no time has passed. Like I saw you and I
No.
hugged you, and it was like that was a moment. But then it was like when you really have that connection with someone,
Yeah,
it's like you just pick up where you left off,
right.
and that's how I feel.
Exactly. Especially just for 5 years, we spent every day together.
Literally,
I mean, I think Keldon knows more about me than most people ever will.
I
And
know
to
a
just have
lot.
that time gap sucks, but it's easy to just be like, Keldon, like, hello, how have you been? How's it going? But like I said, I don't want it to be 4 years ever again. And even in that 4 year gap, Keldon, you can never get rid of me because I have your initials on my left ass
And I
cheek.
thought about that, and I was like, of course I'm gonna be reunited with my husband eventually. Like you can't get rid of me. If you guys don't know, this is my husband.
And this will always be my wife.
So yeah, if
We're-
you out there thinking you about to come between me and mines, think again.
That tattoo. I love that tattoo though. Low
That
key.
was iconic.
I
So iconic.
It's my favorite thing going to the beach, feeling like extra bad. Like, yeah, I have some guy's initials in $3 signs. Tattoo.
it's really it's really a testament of something great.
And
You
I
know?
hope and I hope you know every time I get asked about it, I come up with a new story.
Oh good. I hope you come up with the most insane stories each time.
My favorite one is it's your mixtape. Sometimes I've told people it's a band you're in.
You know, just keep putting my legacy out there. I'm here for it.
One time I was like, "Oh, I got my friend's initials," and he was like, "Oh, did she get yours? So you were a girl in that story?" I
Period.
said, "Yeah, Kelly did."
Kelly.
She most certainly did.
She did, guys.
One story I think we were literally just talking about before getting this equipment set up that I just feel is iconic moment of ours to share is our trip to Chicago.
Our trip to Chicago.
Um, we weren't even really planning on staying the night, which I don't know why we thought we weren't gonna go drink in
Right. We no,
in downtown Chicago.
and the thing is, I literally just told this story. This story comes up more often than I would imagine it would have to. But like literally, people at my work were just talking about they're going to Chicago and like how much they love it, and I was just like, I love Chicago too. And then of course, every time I think of the story when we planned a little day trip, thought we were just gonna be real cutesy and bop around Chicago, and then we
Yeah,
got stranded.
we did. We did bop around for
We bopped
sure.
around for sure.
We were like ended up staying the night. I worked the next day at like noon, and when we decided to
Yes.
stay the night, I was like, "It's fine. We're an hour like ahead in Chicago, so we can just leave early in the morning. I'll
Hmm.
literally pull up right to my shift at the daycare, say hi to the babies, do what I needed to do." We get dropped
Oh,
off by the Uber first in the wrong spot.
wait, did we
Remember?
Uber? Oh yeah,
We Ubered to
yeah.
the car, but when
Yes.
he dropped us off and we got out, we were like, no idea where we
We're
are.
just in Chicago, like
I had to put my car's no, not my car's location. It was the restaurant we first met everyone at.
yeah.
Is I parked literally down the road from there. So in my GPS, I put in that restaurant. We had to walk there, which was a hike. Mind you, it's like 8:30 a.m. in downtown Chicago. After our night out, I'm still in my dress, still
We're
in
still in
the
the
thigh
same clothes that we
highs.
wore last night, like looking like dead scrubs, like after a whole night. So these outfits weren't prim and put together. They
No,
were
I had one thigh high per usual boot down around my ankle. Hair's like this. Makeup's basically off at this point. We had to go through like construction sites on the sidewalk. Hiked. Finally get to my car.
we look like streetwalkers because it was in the daytime
Yeah.
and like we literally just look like streetwalkers. Like we
I
look like we
will.
were from Chicago. No shade Chicago. I love Chicago, but we did.
we, we were downtown streetwalkers in Chicago.
Hmm.
I will never forget my heart dropping when Kelvin went to open the car door and I had to look at him and I was like, I don't
And
have
we
my
had to
keys.
hike there. I was like,
I was
God
like, I don't have
damn.
my keys. So then I thought they were just at the place we stayed for the night. We Ubered back there, looked everywhere, couldn't find them. So then we thought it was at the one club that I took
Yeah,
my
we went.
coat off and whipped my coat around the club.
We had a night.
Yeah, we did have a night. And I thought maybe like they flung out there, but remember that club didn't open till 11
Yeah, so it's like we tried calling like I think almost every place we went to, but like
because there
because
was
it
a
was they were
few.
clubs, they didn't open till later in the day.
There were a few that we had to call. No one knew. I think the speakeasy was like one of the first ones to open. They didn't
Yeah.
see them. And then the main one I thought it was at didn't open till 11, so I had to call in sick. I was like, we're staying again. And my parents, I had to tell them like I was like, I didn't drive, but we're having car issues because they would have been so disgusted. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna make it work
Like we always do.
like we always do.
Keep in mind too, we're in like college, so we're already broke.
Right?
And we only were expecting a little one day thing, so we legit had no money either. Like
We go into a Jimmy John's. Keldon actually got a sandwich, but I was like, I'll get a loaf of bread.
and they just gave it for free because they could just tell we looked like we were struggling, which we were, rightfully so, and they gave to the needy
They did.
and we accepted gratefully.
Downtown Chicago, Jimmy
Just
John's,
eating a
thank
loaf of
you.
bread. Thank you, Jimmy John's, actually.
we we thank you because you fed us to hike around some more.
Stomachs are growling and y'all put them to rest, so thank you.
That I ended up having to call my grandma
Oh
once we had to
yeah.
come to the conclusion that the keys were gone. The keys were
Mhm.
gone. My car ended up having to be towed to the Ford dealership in Chicago. I remember riding in the passenger seat of the tow truck, still in our goddamn outfits. So this tow truck had to pick me up as again my lopsided thigh highs, my hair's a mess. I'm hopping in. He made some comment about our night or something, and we just kind of
Yeah.
like laughed it off. But we were like, tow driver, we're not in the mood.
Really not. It's too early.
We
It's
can't.
7 a.m.
Yeah, of day two of us in
For
the same
real.
outfit. We did not have a bag pack, so I'm walking now into the Ford dealership on day two of a rose dress, thigh high boots, hair is scary, makeup is scary, and then they tell me that it might take a while to make the new set of keys because Ford is horrific and has this whole different thing that they
Do
use.
better, Ford.
Do better, Ford.
Literally.
And
I honestly, I thinking about it now, I feel bad, but I do remember like being waiting with you at the dealership, and then it wasn't my car. So I'm like, I need to go. I need to go back to the place where we were
yeah,
staying. Let you handle this. Maybe get something in my stomach again.
yeah. Go back to the Jimmy John.
Go back to the Jimmy Johns.
I
But
literally, when they told me the price of the keys, I'm like, Well, I basically just spent everything on the last Uber.
No,
It
literally.
was like over $500
That's
because
what I
I had to
remember.
get a new set of keys. And again, my parents didn't know I took my car, so I called my grandma like a true hero. Favorite grandchild status came into play because my grandma over the phone paid for the new set of keys. She paid for the tow truck that got it there. She asked if I wanted food to the dealership. Like, and I just had to wait.
Thank you, Sarah's grandma, because you didn't know, but you helped me out too.
I will never forget when the keys were done and I pulled out and I went to pick everyone up to head back to Kalamazoo. I think everyone was afraid to speak for like 5 minutes.
It was such a just a weird like we were struggling out there.
I had to call off work 2 days. I just when we got back to I was like, I need to shower. I need sweatpants on. But somehow, some way, did I not have a change of clothes in the car? Because didn't we bury the rose dress at that one McDonald's on the way back?
Yeah. Maybe like we had stuff in the car but couldn't get in the car. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually it. That's actually very true. And also because I half the time, like I said in the last video, like live out of my car, I probably had six
Y-
outfits in there anyway
yeah,
without packing anything.
definitely.
But we did stop at a McDonald's on the way back to Kalamazoo, and the rose dress did get buried at that McDonald's because the rose dress.
It did its big one and we were done. It did its big one on us and I said,
Yeah.
"You
The first fuck
together."
up was the 21st birthday. That was the first fuck up, strike one for the rose
That was
dress.
initiation.
That was, and Chicago was strike two, three, and four. It had to go. It had to go. We never saw it again
R.I.P. the rose dress.
after that. Buried in the hay brush
Literally.
next to that McDonald's.
McDonald's. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. And I
And whoever found that dress, good luck.
good luck. It's like, have you ever seen the movie Jumanji? When they like
Yeah.
bury the board game and the next
Yeah,
person
the
who
next
find
person.
it is
That's
cursed.
them, but that's the rose dress.
If you're the next person to find that rose dress, you better burn it, bury it. Yeah. Say your prayers and count your days. Don't let it in your car.
Don't touch it.
Yeah. don't, don't even get the vibes on you with the rose dress. That
Oh,
is, I think I've only been to Chicago once since then.
really? Okay.
Yeah, I think there was only one other time that I was in Chicago, and of course, it was actually for work. One
I
of
feel like any
my
other time would be better than that.
any other time. I feel like I need to go back and like apologize to people who saw me in the street, the construction workers who saw me. It
Yeah,
was it was a night. I
it
hope I
was a
can find the
time.
video of us walking through the construction site. I was telling Keldon that deep in the archives somewhere, when I was first looking for videos to promote the podcast, I just happened to stumble across it, and I hope I can find it again because I'm a scene. I'm a scene in 90% of the videos I tried to gather of me and Keldon, but I'm for sure a scene going through the construction site.
It was definitely memories, good memories, good time had. But yeah, one for the books.
Yeah, yeah. I know in my when people were asking me questions, I talked about like some of my favorite memories from Kalamazoo. And one of the times I had to bring up like in general was our hot tub nights.
Hot tub
Um
night. Oh,
at like 401,
okay, yeah.
sneaking into 58 West hot tubs. We loved a late night hot
We
tub
loved a
scandal.
late night hot tub. Like if it
Yeah.
was pool hours, that's we weren't going. We, like, it had to
Those
be.
weren't ours. That
Those
was
were
the public's pool
for
hours.
real.
That wasn't our pool hours. We made
We're
our
like
own.
closes at 11. I think it's time to get
Yeah.
in.
Thank God everyone's gone.
Like for real.
Now it's time for us to get in there.
Oh my
We would have some
gosh.
of the craziest.
And we would go in so willing, knowing that the security's going to kick us out at some point because we're not
Yeah.
going to keep it down. And we just, would do our time until
Did we ever? Did we ever get kicked out?
there's been a couple times where security's
I
coming.
feel like 401 we definitely
401
did.
for sure. I think I want to say one time at 58 West. But it's just like, college, like the security, they're just
Yeah.
like, get out.
The
'Cause
one
we're just
time we went to
like,
58 West, I wasn't even living there. We just knew they had a hot tub.
that part.
That was our night before I left for the study abroad trip.
Oh, yeah. It's like your Farewell, goodbye.
Yeah, when we were just out scheming
None of the
per
pools in
usual.
Kalamazoo were safe
No,
from
no,
us.
no. And campus courts was like a party pool. There was
It was
always DJs,
it was fun.
something going on at that one.
We needed our own private areas though.
Yeah, we needed our own private
We're a
pool
little
and hot tub.
exclusive.
What's another just
I know. Now I'm trying to think like
iconic
there's been
Kalamazoo?
oh.
There's been anytime we went to South Haven,
Anytime we went to South
it
Haven was a mission. Like
hiking through. When I made Keldon, I took the mirror because I wanted those
oh
like
my gosh,
Visco
yeah.
style photos, and we carried like a full length mirror. And to get to the sand dunes at South Haven, we had to hike for a bit through those
We
woods
did. We did. And
in my sunflower overalls.
we and we were supposed to meet up with people, but like obviously the connection's bad and like I think when we
Oh
pulled up we
yeah,
couldn't like correlate where our group was. So
yeah.
we just made do and said, "Well, let's take our
We're on our
pictures. We're
own.
on our own."
What a cool view though! Like when you got out of the woods, the sand dunes were so
It's
pretty.
so pretty.
I loved going down there, or just so that was a different area than the beach
I think
in
that was
South
actually
Haven.
Saugatuck.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that
right.
was
That's
Saugatuck.
right. South Haven was just the beach and that little downtownish.
Yeah,
Okay.
but Saugatuck was a time we
Yeah.
we ended up making a fire on the beach. Like literally Neanderthals or whatever, like
In the dunes,
in the dunes, like
making a
couldn't find
fire.
our group, so we're like the sun's setting, it's getting a little cold. We make a fire. There's signs saying no public fires.
We probably had a pint of Bacardi or
Something.
something, and we're
We
just
were
sitting
sipping.
around. We
But
were
we made do
sipping.
though. We were like, we can't find our
We
group, so we're
did.
gonna we're doing our own thing.
I do remember the walk back for that one particular time being stressed because it did get really dark.
Yeah. I mean, like going back to the woods. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
that was scary.
to the parking lot, trying to find
Yeah.
our way because there's like 7 different trails, and if you went on the wrong one, you could have been in a completely
No, dead ass.
different direction.
Dead butt.
We were always on the move. Our trip to Mackinac, our road trip.
The road trip to Mackinac was something else. I forget about that.
We drove the wrong one way through the whole campsite trying to find everyone.
And we're like excited. I'm beeping the horn. We're waving. It's, our friends come up. You're going the wrong way. I'm like, oh, well, you take the car. You get in the wheel then. You get. And they did.
The campsite was like one big loop, and of course we went the exact opposite wrong way, and we're like looking for
Hey!
everyone, like waving.
They're like, oh, there's Sarah and Keldon.
Yeah.
Also, on the way on that trip was a time, and I
It
remember
was a time.
we got to like Grand Rapids, and I don't know what we were on,
Yeah.
but we felt like we were driving for hours.
We thought we were almost
We're
there.
like, oh my god! I'm like, we're almost there. I think we're almost there. We're in freaking Grand Rapids,
Yeah.
like an hour away from where we originally started,
Yeah.
and we have about like 5 more hours to go.
We thought we were doing so good, and it was like 4.5 hours, and we're like, what? What?
Uh,
We're not almost at the Mackinac Bridge?
are you serious?
We took the ferry over to the island.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah, getting splashed.
We were scheming on the island. Scheming on Mackinac Island.
We were scheming on Mackinac Island. Damn,
I still have all
dang.
those pictures. Keldon and I have been to Florida multiple times. That hot tub we did get kicked out of
Oh,
in
we
Boca.
did go to Florida multiple times. Yeah.
Boca we did get kicked out of that hot tub.
Yeah. Boca do better.
Daytona we almost got kicked out of the whole Airbnb in general.
Daytona, we literally almost got sent home.
It was like night 2.
5 minutes in, I think.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, no, day one.
It was night 1.
Like,
Knocking on the door. Almost
oh,
evicted us.
okay.
Daytona was a time.
We, like, literally got the speakers out, got our goodies out,
We were ready.
we just thought that was our actual home. Like there wasn't like we weren't in like a shared communal
No.
space. We hung the Western flag down
And
on
it
the way
was
home. They're like,
ours.
y'all gotta take that down. I'm like, okay.
We had about 7 people in that jacuzzi bathtub every second of the day.
That jacuzzi bathtub by the end of the trip was not a jacuzzi bathtub. It
They
was
had to replace that, I'm
they,
sure.
lots of things went down in the jacuzzi bathtub. All
Our
good
bowl,
things. Our bowl.
our bowl drink,
Literally.
our giant bowl drink, because we also ran out of cups to use day one, and we
Yeah.
just found a glass bowl that the Airbnb had, and
We just made a little jungle juice, you know. We drank from our bowl.
Kelton and I just put 2 straws in it, and we were like, "This works."
This works. This holds our goodies.
Yeah,
Like,
this is fine. This'll do.
1 gallon of just
We went.
God knows what.
How many half gallons did we go through?
Oh my
And
God. The boys were making a trip to the liquor store about twice a day, I felt
and we
like.
came down with like 4.
It's like we went through it quick.
We went through it quick.
I think, how old are we? Like around
I
20.
don't think we were 21
No,
yet.
no. Our friend was the only one 21 at the time. We
Yeah.
had one friend, and so we were like maybe 20. Everyone was like probably 19,
Yeah.
20. So
Yeah, I was gonna say 19 is I think
yeah,
that's when we made the move down
we
there.
just had little young livers, I guess.
Oh my God, absolutely. Even taking a shot now is like it's rough, but on that trip back when we were 18, 19, 20, a fifth hated to see us coming.
It's coming. Pints were
Hated
really
to see
scared.
us
They had
coming.
no chance.
Yeah,
Like,
pints were for breakfast.
like-
They didn't. They had no
and
chance.
the thing was, we didn't eat that trip. Like,
We really
we
didn't.
barely ate.
Oranges that our
We-
one friend's grandparents
Oh yeah,
dropped off.
literally.
A thing of oranges. I think the only memory of food I have from that trip is me, you, someone else. There was only like 1 or 2 other people that went. We had breakfast at like IHOP or something.
I do remember that. That was
Maybe
like our
not
first
IHOP,
night.
but we had breakfast
Yeah.
one morning.
I
Other
literally
than that, what
swear
did
we
we
had
eat?
pizza on the last day.
That's when we were all watching Simple Life. When we were just kind
Oh,
of tapped out the last
yeah,
night.
like we got pizza, and like those are the only 2 meals I can literally remember. I
Yeah.
know we went to this place called Bubble Gumps.
Yes.
But
Oh
I
my
remember
God,
getting my plate
yes.
and just being like, I can't eat this. And went back to the Airbnb.
Wait. Now the food memories are flooding back because we also went to Joe's Crab Shack before we left.
We did.
We made
Right
that like our
before we
final
left,
feast. We're
yeah.
like, go big or go home. We're going
Uh-huh.
to Joe's Crab Shack. We're getting a bunch of crab. I do have that video of all of us in our bibs.
Yeah, that was that was our big one. That was like our
Yeah.
meal to like replenish
good
us from
meal.
all the damage we did.
I know from the Boca trip, one memory that constantly cracks me up is when you were trying to iron your one shirt and
Gosh.
Keldon burnt a hole in it. The loudest pitch scream you could hear throughout our Airbnb, but then still tried to iron it again and burnt the second hole.
I'm very particular about my fits and my clothes, and I was so excited to wear my little satin blue silky shirt. Iron burnt a hole through that bit. Mother. Effort.
2 times.
Twice. And then Sabrina took a picture of me with it, and it's just like hanging on by
Hanging on by threads. And you guys had a full
Yeah.
photo shoot.
You literally, you know.
That was great. That was a great one. I think so. Keldon and I actually met because my roommate, very good friend of mine, we lived at Western Heights together. The 2 girls next to us, one of them went to school with Keldon.
Oh yeah, yep.
And so freshman year, when me and my roommate became close with those 2 girls, we're going out and do everything. I don't think it was welcome weekend right away. I think it was a different big weekend that everyone was going out,
Out.
and
I-
we got introduced to like her friends from home, which included
Yeah.
Keldon.
Uh-huh.
And we met, but like the initial time hanging out was me coming through the woods
Yeah, I met
to recruit Keldon
I
as a
met
friend.
Sarah in the woods recruiting me to scheme with her. And I literally remember actually like I know, like, well, you like know those trails of just like
Yeah.
in campus court, and I just remember you like coming through the woods saying, "Hey,
Was I
basically,
with
let's be
anyone?
no." So I just remembered like
That's
this
why I
is
was recruiting.
this is the girl who was that I met I think earlier in the day, and I knew like who you were associated with, and you were on your own, and you were basically like, "Hey, let's be
Yes.
friends," and
It's like,
I
no one.
immediately got the vibes and was like, "Oh, if I follow her, I'm gonna have a good time."
Right.
And I was by myself too, so like it was really meant to
It
be.
was meant to be
We
us
were
meeting
both
in the
scheming
woods.
alone.
We were both alone scheming. And then after that night, what a 5 years
What a 5 years.
after.
Literally spent almost like every day together since.
Yeah, we've had honestly some of the nights where we were up until 3, 4 in the morning. Those conversations I literally like still think about
Me
today.
too.
They're just like very open, honest, deep conversations that we would have on someone's balcony at 3:30 in the morning when you're winding down from a crazy, absolute bonkers bullshit night,
Definitely.
drunk, but like you're starting to be like, oh, normal again. And we would just have like all the
All
conversations.
the conversation. And that's when I felt like within those conversations was when I was like, obviously there's like the partying that comes along with college, but is when I really got to know like Sarah's core of her just being like a good person at heart and just could not like be apart from. It
Yeah.
was just yeah.
And I think that's why we vibe so well because yeah, we had our crazy times, but we also like get what needs to be done. We also get like
Mhm.
what we need to do.
And like give each other space for that when someone's when like whether it was like me wanting to like get my life, it was like you'd give me the space to do that and like vice versa.
Yeah.
So,
Very like I think that whole group that we had was very mental health conscious
mhm,
of one another, which I think is huge to have in college and in life in general when you're going through everything that you've never been through before,
that part.
to have a group of people who know like mental health causes, concerns, boundaries, and things like that. We always had like a great group to go out and do anything with.
We really
Um,
did.
we were always down for anything. I swear to God, there was probably times I text Kelton at 1 in the morning and was
You
like,
know,
"You ready to go?" You'd
and
be like, "Yeah."
I'm on my way.
What are we doing now?
I was either going to Campus Core or you were coming to Soho.
Yeah, it was either C14 or 401.
401, one of the two.
There were some. I mean, literally just trying to think of every single house crawl,
St.
St. Patrick's
Patty's.
Day,
Tail-
tailgates,
Tailgate.
the Wheaton House.
The, that cursed mansion. That's like a haunted house, really. It really is. I only have scary memories there. I don't know if it was because the Halloween parties there were so fun, but it just spooked me out.
We just had
Sorry to the people who lived at that house.
the one party that I was talking about last episode was the first party we had at C14 Halloween when the floors flooded.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah, when
That was
water
crazy.
started coming through the kitchen light.
Just like flooding through and
Yeah.
just people kept
People
kept on partying.
kept
Rain
no
or
one was
rain or flood.
yeah. Flood or shine, it was party time. There were a couple times at 401 where like there'd be
Oh,
moments where I would actually be concerned the floor would go in. When
yeah.
we had 70 people on the top floor of an apartment, you could like feel the floor
Can feel
dip.
it like bumping in. That's when I went in my room and said, or like I'm gonna stay on the edge,
Yeah. I'm gonna stay on the
perimeter.
balcony.
Yeah,
I'll watch all you guys fall to
for real.
301, but I'm gonna be on the balcony.
And 301, they hated us. I'm sorry to those of y'all who lived in 301 and also 402. You know, my apologies.
403, 404, anyone in the
Anyone in that
vicinity.
building, really?
Yeah. Campus court, sorry for the neighbors. We did egg
Oh
you.
my! I was just talking about that with someone. I was like, didn't didn't Sarah have like an egg war with like
Yeah.
you were beefing with some neighbors?
Yeah, and remember they took all the patio furniture from the courtyard and like barricaded us into the
See,
apartment.
I was telling someone this and they were like, "That didn't happen." I was like, "No, like we were at war with those neighbors. Like
Yeah.
they didn't like us, we didn't like them, and it was
Yeah.
war. It was beef. It was
Yeah.
up."
I had to go over and apologize because the cops ended up getting involved.
As they do
As
sometimes.
they do sometimes. We had multiple encounters with the cops, but it was always just,
No one had them
you
like me
can't.
though. And we can talk about that.
That's true. That's true.
So, I don't know if you guys know the story of the tattoo, but basically I got arrested in college.
That's why it's free cow money.
Free me. Free me. That was a long 12 hours in Kalamazoo County. And Kalamazoo County
Kalamazoo
does
Cow.
not play. They don't play. And it was one of our infamous nights at the Goat.
No one survived the goat.
And one thing just led to another. I think I was with some friends of mutual friends of ours who also made it even more suspicious that they decided to steal all the ketchup bottles
From
at
the
the
goat.
Goat. So I had about 20 bottles of ketchup in my back seat, looking suspicious too. After I had, did some illegal things, which I learned my lesson from. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was just an iconic time, just another iconic Kalamazoo time. It
It,
made me stronger,
yeah. I
and I had
remember
friends to tat free me on them.
I was already in my room at that point, but I'll never forget the knocking on my door of one of our friends who was visiting going, Calvin got arrested. And it was like 2 a.m. And I was like, oh, where's my friend?
And the thing
Where's my
was
friend?
that
So,
spread it through not just Kalamazoo, our friends in East Lansing, my friends in Charlotte. I just remember getting out of jail, checking my phone, and seeing all the missed calls and like Snapchats of people being concerned. And
so
it was the time. And honestly, I think as soon as I got back, I went right back to the Wheaton House and got me a good little cold one to celebrate my release.
I was at the tattoo shop.
Yes.
I was like, I got to do something for him.
I,
What else can I do besides get his
I
initials
checked
on my
Snapchat and
ass?
saw people were getting free cow money tag. And honestly, that is what I needed in that moment to honestly make me feel like it was kind of worth it. I mean, low key,
It's
I
a
would.
story
It's
now.
a story now. It's a story now. I had a friend when I was in there too. Made a friend in
You
there.
were doing TikTok dances.
I taught Homeboy Renegade. I'm not trying to promote going to jail. Do not do it. The system is absolutely messed up too. I'm so anti all the system, and it's not a joke or a game.
Right.
But if you find yourself in that situation, just like treat it like it's not the end of the world. It definitely was. It felt like Orange is the New Black to me.
You
And
just got to know how to renegade when you're
renegade, renegade.
renegade.
So
Oh my
scary,
god.
but fun.
I think one day Keldon and I could literally write a book on every adventure,
We can
life
write like a
lesson.
self-help book to young.
So, a college
What not to
survival
do.
guide by Kelvin and
No,
Sarah.
for real.
Yeah, honestly. And our adventures aren't done. They're not even close to being
That's the
done.
crazy part.
That 5 years in college was the pregame for the rest of our life.
Dead. For real.
And I hope you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm strapped in.
We're
Double
locked
buckled.
in. We're
Roller
double
coaster things, all the straps.
strapped
I'm
in.
gonna need them. You're gonna need them too.
Yeah, we are. Keldon and I have some really cool things planned. Keldon is the absolute most creative, artistic person in the world, and I'm very excited for the fact that he will be doing the Sorry Mom podcast merchandise. Um, hoodies or crew necks. We haven't decided on the final form of everything, but I'm very, very excited, and I put all my trust in Keldon in creating those. Crafts by Keldon which I am gonna have in my Instagram, TikTok, everything. Make sure you follow Crafts by Keldon because I will be repping his beautiful outfit at Bonnaroo that I'm so excited for. Hopefully this isn't
Period.
the last time I have you on my
Oh, definitely
podcast.
not. It can't be.
No, you have to
I
be a
also
regular
didn't expect
guest.
to enter the villa this way. I'm like giving like no shave, no nothing, but I had to respect the queen. So I'm gonna do what I have to
You had to
do.
get ready.
And to go off of that, Sarah has always been the baddest hustler I know. Like, if there's a hustle, she's gonna find a way.
There's one thing I'm doing, it's starting a business.
She's starting a business, y'all, and she's making a coin. And not only are
Exactly.
and you're creative too in your mind and how you even think of like how to like even form business plans. It's like unconventional. It's not. It wouldn't be your
Yeah.
like mainstream way, but you had
Yeah.
always found a way, and that's one thing I'd always like admire about her and her drive. And like I remember us literally always talking about like you're in business, I'm in the arts, like
Yeah.
somehow, like some way, it's going to intertwine and
Yeah.
make a dime.
Feel it. There we go. Feel like in my mind I can see things, but you can like create, you can like make it come to life. Like I feel like
Yeah,
I can like plan something, but you're able to actually be the creative vision that brings that to life.
and yeah, and I need the ideas.
It
It works perfect, guys. You got
does
a lot is coming for you.
a lot. And I can't wait for when Keldon comes down to Cincinnati because Keldon and I can run that city easily. I'm very excited to show him around, and maybe that's where part two will be at.
Yes, I'm hoping
We can do a bar crawl podcast episode,
that would be fun.
a night out,
That would be ideal.
cow money in Cincinnati.
Uh, I
Well,
can't wait.
I can't wait. I am so excited I got to stop by today. I'm so excited that you did the podcast, that you made my outfit. And like I said, we will see Cow Money very soon. We love Cow Money. Per usual, have a fun weekend, have a safe weekend, get home safe.
Mommy, mommy,
Get home
mommy.
safe, and we will see everyone same time, same place next week. But you will see me in Bonnaroo next Thursday wearing this piece.
Last but
Wearing this
not
piece.
least, sorry, mom.